Hello, everyone. Welcome to our final Cowboy Bebop episode here on Who's That Anime, where we talk about anime, sort of, while talking about other things in life.
We we've been better. We've been better about it.
Getting better, getting
Yep.
better. I'm,
I
I'm
like
big on
that.
myself.
For those of you who will eventually watch the video component of this, that was a pretty nice zoom in of your face. If you just going
Getting
getting
better.
better, and as it zooms in on your face, that was priceless. I enjoyed that.
I couldn't tell you better. Yeah.
So yeah, final two episodes 25 and 26. I realize I don't think we've mentioned the names of the episodes. Or did we? It's been because we've recorded oh, my brain. Because we recorded in a funny way.
Mhm.
Uh, and to be honest, I didn't even look up the Japanese name for Cowboy Bebop the movie, but there is one. I
Oh,
should have said. It's a
what?
music reference.
A music reference. What is it? Cowboy
Yes.
Bebop. I mean,
Cowboy Bebop Knocking on Heaven's Door is the
knock,
name of the.
knock on heaven's door.
I was close enough to the song that I'd probably know what you meant.
Thanks. I take that as a compliment. I mean,
Well,
usually my song titles go.
my of you and I have known each other for a number of years, Colin, and of all the many things I will praise you for, to be blunt, singing is probably not the one.
Oh, what? You know what I found
Yeah,
out? I found that Vic Reeves was a singer before he was a comedian.
yeah, I think I knew that, but in a way that my brain heard it and went, "Oh, that's a thing," and then just tucked that away,
Yeah,
never to think about it again.
thanks to Jules Holland Hootenanny, which is a TV show aired on BBC Two for the past
On
30,
Hogmanay,
30 years, 20 years.
it's a long time. I love the Hootenanny by comparison to all the other Hogmanay stuff.
Yeah, New Year's Eve stuff for those
Oh
that
yeah,
not
for anyone
Scottish.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
By the way,
was that
Jules
a quite,
Holland,
quite?
I should
Oh
also
no,
say,
gone.
Jules Holland isn't actually Scottish either, as far as I'm aware.
No, I think so. I think he's English.
Yeah.
Isn't he?
I don't know.
They
I
also record it in like September.
don't know, that explains why it was awful lax in the rules of self isolating.
Everyone was probably put into tents for 10 days prior to being in that room together, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Man,
pretty good going.
I remember that one episode where some singer came on and he was like wasted to God knows what end or high on some random shit and his fucking act was like, the fuck is this guy on? I was like 4 or 5 years ago that one or something.
Wasn't the brother from Bonnie M? No,
I don't know, maybe.
because he's fucked. he's, I think he's proper. There's some really great videos of him just like losing his shit on stage, not like angrily, but just like woo, and yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, maybe it sounds similar to him. I don't know. It popped up in my feed in the years there before it was like
Good.
something that I said 4 years ago or something on the Facebook.
So before we get into this, very quickly, wanted to say, and I know I've been talking about this, my EverDrive arrived.
Oh wow! Look at that! It looks like an EverDrive. Oh,
Yep.
get an SD with it.
I didn't get one with it, but I bought one for like £6 off of Amazon and just chucked it in it because it only takes up to 64 gig. So,
Oh, all right. Does it go higher?
which is it's about 10 times the amount of space required to hold the entire Game Boy Advance library. So,
Oh well, it doesn't matter anymore. Unless you want to play
Nah.
Tomb Raider.
No, I did see that, and that would be cool. Although the reason I got it was so that when my
Pocket.
thingy analog pocket arrives later this year, in time for Christmas this year, then I'll be able to use it in that, which would be nice.
Yeah, and you'll be able to. Will you be able to have it so it will play Game Boy games as well and stuff?
I believe you can put files in it that allow it to do that, to play Game Boy Color and Game Boy. So I could just put the whole complement on that one cartridge and be done with it.
Cool, cool. That'd be cool.
Which
We're
it'd be all right.
not promoting any illegal activities here.
I am firmly behind the concept of sharing games digitally, particularly when there is no other way to play them in a modern device.
Like Duck Hunt.
Like Duck Hunt, like I don't know, like if I think about it's I can't remember if Super Mario World Land 3 and 2 and 1 for that matter are out on any virtual console or
Super Mario World out on Switch, like SNES library.
oh, and the SNES versions, but these are the Game Boy ones. Like
Yeah, but surely it started at Super Mario World 2 in the Game Boy.
Super Mario Land 2 on the Game Boy.
Ah, okay.
Super Mario Land. Yeah, I don't. No, it is available. That's interesting, but you have to just buy it 359
On what now?
on the Switch eShop.
Oh, they
Switch
moved that.
eShop. Sorry, no, 3DS eShop.
I was going to say, I thought it was one of the older eShops.
Yeah, I would
Which
have. I
are
I
not
would have
there?
bought that. No, it's there. The Wii shop is not there.
Yeah.
The Wii U one and the 3DS are still there.
For how much longer?
I mean, not that much long, judging by how long the Wii one lasted. So and that was
Yeah.
the successful one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they've not nuked the Wii U one from orbit.
That was just a confusing name, man. When they announced the Wii U, it was like, and it's this thing, and it just looked like a controller with a TV on it. And it's like, oh, that'd be cool add-on for the Wii. No, this is a new
No,
console. It's like,
it didn't help
what?
that it was also white as well, like
The
the
Wii,
Wii, and you're like, yeah, should have released the black one only to start with. That might have
or
helped.
yeah, or like call it something different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's get on with this. So,
Project Dolphin.
episode 25, The Real Folk Blues, Part 1, or Zarairu Foku Burusu Zempen.
Rusu.
Borusu.
Borusu.
Borusa.
Boris.
It has 3 They're all U's, and one of them has a line above it, and I don't know what the line does.
Alright, I didn't know that was even a thing in there. Damn it. Get on with it. Get on with it.
Get on with it. Talk about anime, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's what this is all about. Surely.
Yeah,
No.
it's what life's about. I am wearing my and not that everyone can see it because this is an audio medium as well, but
Straight
my
out of
straight out of Neon Genesis Evangelion jumper. So
yes, he's formed from like the rebirth by Ray. You ever actually watch it?
yeah, like a long time ago.
It's on
A long time ago.
it's on Netflix now.
I got 10 minutes into it and went, I am not in the headspace for this.
You're never in the headspace for Neo Geo.
Well, that was the thing,
Evangelion.
was when I was much younger, when I watched it, it was like, this is mental. What's happening? Why is any of this a thing? And then at the end of it, it's like, cool. What? What is this? Why did any of this happen?
And it's still the same. I still don't
Yep.
understand it fully. But then I think that's maybe the old
Explosions are
series.
cool as shit, though.
Yeah, and the big robots going
They did
ape.
explosions better than just about anyone. Like that's including the Akira stuff, which did explosions pretty well. And that was a big budget movie by comparison.
Better explosions better than anyone. Better than Michael Bay.
I I would say yes, but that's because it had sparing use of explosions, but when they happened, they were cool as fuck. Whereas Michael Bay, everything explodes all the time.
You know what? You know what would make this even better? If this if this tree just exploded right now.
I was watching a video about stuntmen working with Michael Bay, and he was talking about the fact that they were doing this thing where in the Transformers movie, a bus was to get picked up, and the stunt people, some of them were strapped in and to be hanging from the bus, and others were supposed to fall out through the window
All right, okay.
and to the ground. And they got there to film it. They did it on pads. They went through sort of the gaps in the window, and it was like, okay, we'll be back to do this again tomorrow. No pads and and a polarized pane of glass that was not properly breakaway. So, like they had guys falling through glass, not being able to see where they were falling to,
Oh god.
and like apparently the five guys who were supposed to drop out, it's like three of them ended up going to the hospital, and the guy who was talking was like, there are not many of us left. We can't keep doing these reshoots.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah,
Oh,
so he did go on to say, he's like, to be fair to Michael Bay, he's not like hiding in a room. He's like super up in it and always like right in the action. But also, I feel like if I was signing onto a project, I maybe wouldn't want to die. So
yeah. Michael Bay. Explosions.
Michael Bay deaths. Uh,
Anyway,
so Real Folk Blues Part One.
mhm.
Um, how does this even start? There's like a things kick off with a bang, if I remember rightly.
Do they?
Because of course they, well, they is it? Do they not? Are they not like drinking and wallowing in their own sorrow at the fact that Faye and Ed and Ayn have all left the Bebop?
Yeah. To a degree. They're in a bar drinking the sorrows away, that's for sure. Um, on Mars.
Yeah.
But is it not? Start off with Vicious being summoned to the council.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah, there's like he arrives and is like presumably there to fuck shit up, and didn't expect it to be that difficult.
Yeah, he
And
arrives
then
and I think he was getting summoned because he was being intolerant. The council has not been liking his attitude for the past
is it
like
the red dragons?
yeah,
Yeah.
and and he was like, ah, well, I don't need to listen to you much longer. And then like we're going to like uh do a coup, and the guys were like, nah, sort of through your plans, and fuck you, Vicious, you're getting taken away.
He does a good old fashioned "get your hands off of me" type thing, and then they're like, "Nah, just put the cuffs on him."
Yeah.
Like it seemed for a minute he was gonna get away with it, and they're like, "Nah, just like don't listen to him. Put the cuffs on him and take him the fuck away."
Yeah, there's that, and also he says, "Oh, you should just let me to die." It's like, nah, that's not how we do it. Things here, you know that, Vicious. You're gonna
Yeah,
rot in a room.
it's not punishment enough.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I forgot about that because they're all like it's sort of a little bit of a Star Wars Episode 3, The Rock, I have the high ground type thing of these dudes high up going like, fuck you, Vicious.
yeah, all these old dudes.
Yeah. Which, of course, he does complain about that they're old.
Yeah. Oh, they're
But
old and stuck in their old ways, and things need to progress.
yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not. And then fucking, and then I think it cuts to the bar
Yeah, and then
because
they're
it's his cue.
discussing
Yeah, his cues has started awakening the syndicate of like we got to like end all ties to that group.
that. Yes, you're right. They start to like cut ties to anyone who had any involvement with that group and within the syndicate,
Yeah,
which means Spike, even though he's not part of it anymore, because
well,
in like true Pacino fashion, just when I think I'm out, they keep pulling me back in. Um,
mm,
and also Julia, it would seem, is on the cards, who
yeah,
has mysteriously, we know, has been alive throughout all of this and has barely been in it. And I complained about this the last time, maybe in the movie, actually. Yeah, we complained about it in the movie episode of the fact that they tried to have this overarching story where very little of the overarching story was ever involved in any of the episodes.
yeah. We did mention that in there.
Vicious has been in 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
His collective screen time is less than 4 minutes.
Where did you get that information from? Did you go back and watch
My
them?
brain, like, I'm thinking about the times he's on the screen. He's on the screen in that the first 2-part episode,
Yeah.
like, but very little.
Yep.
The most he's on screen is the scene where he kills the old syndicate dude in the throat, and he's very briefly on the screen there. He's on the screen during the fight scene with Spike in the church,
Yep.
and then he's on he's in it very briefly again when he's on the rooftop and shoots Spike.
Oh, what? No, wait. He was in throughout that two-parter there. Well, in the sense that he
Was
was,
he?
yeah, because he was behind Lynn, who took the bullet
So
for him,
yeah, but so much so that I forgot.
and he was summoned to the council at that point. The council members appeared in that episode and told him,
I don't
"You've got
know.
to fucking get yourself sorted out, mate. Go and do this for us."
I right. I'm looking this up.
I'm going to say 6 minutes.
Uh, uh, it does not
You're gonna,
suggest. No, I'm gonna have to actually do the calculation. I'm gonna do it. So it's definitely like it's gonna be less than 10 minutes
yeah.
out of 26 episodes and a movie. The main antagonist is in it for less than 10 minutes.
I think he was in a flashback. Oh wow,
Even at that, I'm fairly confident
it's less than 10 minutes.
it's less than 10 minutes. And he may be spoken about, but I'm also not confident of that.
He's mentioned when he's in episodes, so I don't think he's ever really mentioned again.
I don't know. It's just
Oh,
like it would be
he had
like
that flashback
watching the
in.
X Files and then them kind of like talking about aliens in the first episode of the season, and then at the end of the season, it's like, oh, shit, remember there were aliens? It's like, that's right, there were aliens. We should get back to that. And they kind of did it that way, but they tried to intersperse it a little bit more.
Yeah. It really wasn't much about aliens, X Files. It was more about these weird shit that was happening.
Monster of the Week, which made it great.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah. So the Spike and Jet are drinking the bar, saying, discussing how it's got quiet now because they always wanted them to leave, but realized that they were a big integral part to the family, as it were. I think more so Jet is missing them than Spike.
Yeah.
Well, they're both missing them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Spike is not indifferent, not upset, maybe more annoyed. but Jet is actually upset that they're gone.
Yeah. And then you can kind of see that. That was kind of one of his character building points in the movie of how he was worried about them all whenever they
Yeah,
didn't come back because he was the
like
father figure.
if you look back on like all the previous episodes, the ones where uh you know they've gone to find Spike and it's like, nope, not gonna get involved. Just gonna sit here and work on my bonsai tree. And
Yeah.
then it's just like silence for 5 to 10 seconds. He's like, ugh. And then just gets up and goes to goes to fix it. It's like,
Yeah.
yep, that was gonna happen.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
He's Jet is easily my favorite character.
Yeah.
Like he is a perfectly anime-ish written character who is like flawed in so many ways and kind of a broken person and definitely not perfect, but like underneath every part of that is just at their core the most human of any of them.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I
'Cause it's
mean,
like I feel like Faye's arc is sort of quite fairy tale-ish, really. Ed's is just a bit confusing.
it has an
Uh,
arc.
uh, yeah,
He
he's a
appeared,
cat, and then
hijacked,
he went away, and then
hijacked the Bebop, forced him to take him with him, her, and then
then she found her dad.
yeah,
So
who then
uh,
instantaneously abandoned her.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
fucked.
yeah. You guys just messed up. But then you've got Spike, who is basically like, despite like being an enjoyable character, is defined entirely by a relationship that you've never seen him in, and that's it.
Yeah, he's
Like there's no growth to Spike. There is just the eventuality of getting to the point where he's going to find a resolution to a problem he's had since the first episode. Whereas with Jet, it's not problems, it's nothing like that, other than the fact he is vehemently against having women or children or animals on board the Bebop.
oh, it's
But
not Spike.
actually,
Like
oh, that's Spike. Sorry, yeah.
he, Jet doesn't care.
No, Jet doesn't not care. Jet is just Jet. But the point being is that with Jet, the character is, you get glimpses of the past and you understand why he is the way he is.
Hmm.
Like that's the way that works. But you get bits of that with Faye as well. Like you understand why she is just basically so cut off and hard on people and tries not to have relationships.
Hmm.
Like that becomes clear. But with Spike, it's just, well, he's sleepy and he's really good at his job.
Uh,
And yeah.
because all three characters are in some form of depression.
Oh, like I have no doubt. Like they're all suffering from something. Um but I just, the thing with Spike is like he is a really enjoyable character and I love the way he's written, the way he talks, and the things that frustrate him are funny. But I just don't feel like there's any character arc really.
I've been building in it. Well, I mean, I think towards the last couple of episodes, he's certainly softened up a bit. But like you said, this episode is kind of just pulls him right back into what his session is. Um,
Yeah.
so what we'll say about this? They're in the bar having a drink, and then Jet makes a remark. He goes, "Now I see why you don't like women, children, and animals."
That's it. Yeah.
Uh, and then I think there's a shot goes through the door and shoots the bartender or
Oh
something.
man, like I think the door gets kicked in and the bartender gets fucking wasted, like just riddled with bullets. You're like,
Yeah,
that seems harsh. He was just getting drinks. You didn't
yeah,
need any of that.
yeah. He didn't need any of that. And Jet takes one in the leg, and jump over the bar and shoot at the guys that come into the bar. And then Lynn's brother, Rin, appears.
Uh, Shin,
Shin.
Lynn's brother.
Yeah, sorry, Shin. It's not quite as bad as Rin.
Not confusing at all though. Like, because like I don't
Identical
imagine
brothers.
you know anybody kind of yeah, because they look alike as well. It's like, sorry, was that? Did you shout me? No, no, it's your brother. I was looking for your brother. Oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
that probably happened every 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's not like we know about that. That's not part of any of the show. Yeah, it was like Spike goes, Lynn? As he appears around the corner, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
no, I'm Shin. Oh yeah, Shin, you're Lynn's brother, and has to state this statement
Yep.
because
Yeah.
literally looking the same. I thought you were in the syndicate too.
So I need to dump this exposition as quickly as these guys are unloading their clips across the bar here.
Yeah,
We need to get the audience on board with what's just happened because this is a bit of a Deus Ex Machina. We need this situation to resolve itself.
really quickly. And
Yeah, really quickly.
um, I think we also missed a scene where Julia's about and
She oh, she gets a phone call
mm,
saying they're disavowing everyone that's
yeah,
been involved in this group. They're going to come for you. You need to sort of get out
yeah, yeah,
or
that's right.
get away. Is that Shin on the phone there as well? Probably
Might have
is, right?
been, might have been.
I don't remember if it says explicitly or not, but it would make
No,
sense since he's trying to sort of
take them
help.
all. Yeah, and then so Spike goes, "Oh, you're just kind of like his brother. Your brother stuck in the middle of it, type thing." And anyway,
Yep.
so he helps Spike to escape um, the bar, and they go to the doctor that was in the second episode where Ayn appears. The one that was
Yes.
Hakeem beats up after doing plastic surgery.
Yes, that's
Uh,
right.
and Spike's looking out for the syndicate, and Jet's going, "All right, Doctor, you haven't seen us here." And the Doc goes, What are you on about? I'm just feeding these stray kittens that can't get out my fucking office quick enough."
So, that was quite amusing. It did make me. I don't know if you've watched John Wick 3.
I might have watched it. I can't really
Okay.
remember it.
So, like, okay, mild spoilers for the John Wick trilogy, but at the end of the second movie, he's made excommunicado from the Guild of Assassins or whatever it is,
Yeah,
and he has like an hour clock before his $14 million bounty becomes active,
yeah,
and he ends up getting in a fight with a guy who severs his artery on his like shoulder,
yeah,
and he goes to a doctor who's like, that after this, like, I don't have long to do anything here. He's like, yeah, I know. And it gets to the point where he has to try and stitch him up before the time on the clock runs out. Otherwise, they'll know. And for some reason, it made me think of that.
yeah. Oh, that makes sense. I mean, it's just your average back alley doctor doing operations under the.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I might have watched it. Is that the one that ends in like that kind of like weird glass house,
So,
penthouses
yes,
somewhere?
because the second one ends in, or the first one, second one? One of them ends in a house of mirrors, and this one ends in a house of glass.
First one I had in the House of Mirrors, because I think
He kills a dude with a book in this one.
yeah, because he's in like a pawn shop and they're all chasing him down.
No, he's in a library,
Oh, he's in the library.
and
Yeah,
he's a really tall guy, like 7'5", and he like puts a book against his neck and smashes him down on the table and breaks his neck on the book. It's pretty amazing.
yeah. It's not violent at all. This movie, the John Wick movies, not
Well,
violent at all.
no, he does get massively knife happy with the guy as well, and just starts fucking unloading knives into him while
Uh,
he's on the ground. That movie's really good.
that's when he's in the antique shop because they all
I
have the
don't know if
net
it's
and
the
they were
antique
like,
shop.
I think it is. I,
It's not. I don't know if it's an antique shop or a safe house for like weapons, because there's like guns and shit in there as well. Is there not? Eventually,
yeah, I think it's like a weird kind of
there's
weapon shop to
the
buy
big
weapons.
corridor with the glass cabinets with all the knives.
Yeah.
Here's a crazy fact for you.
Uh-huh.
There's no glass in those cabinets.
No, wait, so all the things that were smashing was essentially computer generated.
It's all CGI.
The fuck? All right.
Holy shit! Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's not even like, unless I knew that I watched that looking the whole time, going, it's like I'm sure I'll be able to see like where it's obviously CGI. It's like, no, no, that looks right.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
super cool.
That's weird. Fuck. Um. s- So where are we? Yeah. So let's get to the doctors. And the
Yep.
doctor's like, "Oh yeah, no, don't worry. Don't need to worry about me. I know this. I know the MO in this whole malarkey. You're after syndicate's after you. I'm not working on anyone. I'll stay stum. Don't need to tell anyone about shit. Um, then I think it switches over to Shin. Go and see. Go and see the council, and the council asks him, "Oh, did you kill Spike?" And I think he lied at that point.
He says no, he got away and killed everyone.
Yeah,
No, wait, does he not report to
vicious.
Vicious?
He might
So
want
has
to.
Vicious escaped at this point? Has Vicious murdered everyone?
Yeah, because he's done the coup and has murdered everyone. I think.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's now. Yeah, he did the he did the kill. He did the killing.
Oh
Um,
no! It cuts to Faye. Faye's in an
I was gonna
airport.
say there is a scene with Faye and Julia.
Yeah, so Faye's in the airport, um, just kind of looking at her ship. That's what happens on Mars. And there's this
Yes.
old lady going, "Oh, where's my son? I can't find my son."
Yes, I forgot about this bit. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm here,"
Yeah, here. And the
and it's
son
that guy.
is,
It's the host of the Bullseye Show or whatever it's called,
yeah, um,
Big Shot Show.
Big Shot, yeah, the host of the Big Shot show. And she's like,
It
"Oh,
clicked for me because I was looking at him the whole time and I'm like, you seem really familiar. And then she's like, "Oh, have you found a job yet?" And he's like, "No, not yet, but I will." So he's like, "What about your co-host?" And I was like, "Co-host? Wonder what kind of job he did." And it's like, holy shit, it's the guy.
yeah, it's the guy." And I'm sure he says something along the lines, "Oh yeah, don't worry about her," type thing. So just
Yeah.
the last thing you saw her is screaming like, "Give me my agent!"
She's probably living large on her her lawsuit win or whatever. So
Yeah. Oh, I don't think we mentioned it in the movie, but it did appear in the movie, and he did try to like promote the show by having like a call-in thing and win prizes, which
that's right.
everyone it just fell flat on everyone. Like
Yeah.
even the co-host was like, "Ugh," and then he was like, "All right, on to the big show." Um, fucking this guy, he needs to get caught. Got super amount of money.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Anyway, so Pete's out there. Julia swings by in a big red car, convertible red car, with people chasing her. And Faye, for some reason, decides to like help her out by shooting the tire.
Yeah. Well, I guess like she saw it was like a single woman, like nobody else in the car being shot at by a car full of other people.
Yeah,
So it's like an empathetic moment, I guess, where it's like, no, I've been that person.
yeah, possibly. Or the fact that this shows that she's changed now that she's found out who she actually was.
I suppose, like, I guess that's the thing is would she stick her neck out? Would she have stuck her neck out in the past, and maybe not?
Yeah, I think she's finally out of her slump that she was in. Um,
Yeah.
so she helps Julia out, and then Julia stops and says, "Oh, you need to get in because they'll be after you too." And then they drive away and like gets chased by other people, and she shoots that one out. And then they kind of drive like a Velma and Louise style to like a cliff face, and then they have some random conversation about how Faye's a bounty hunter and her name's Faye, and it goes,
Oh,
"It's a
Faye,
common
Faye
name."
Valentine.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a common name. Or
yeah,
she just, yeah, she says Faye Valentine, but she says I'm Julia. It's a common name.
yeah, and
And Faye's like, Julia, eh?
yeah, and then the drop. Julia drops her off back at the ship. It's like, "I'll drop you off back at the ship. We lost the guys now." Um, so they go back to the airport and goes,
Well, oh yeah, yeah.
tell Spike, I'll be at that place. He'll know what I mean."
That's right. I'll be at the place. He'll know what it means. And anytime somebody says he'll know what it means, all I ever think of is that episode of Friends when Joey is saying, I was like, oh, you're going there? Are you going to see Sal? Tell him I said hi. He'll know what it means. And it's just the only thing I can think of is the sarcasm that like precedes that, which is, are you sure he'll be able to crack that code?
Yeah.
It's, it's so good.
I take it that was Challenger.
Chandler, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Chandler.
Oh yeah, you going to see Sal? Tell him I said hi. Huh? He'll know what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is now permanently ingrained. I can't not hear that anytime someone says they'll know what it means.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, anyway, then Peggy climbs into her ship, and Jet busts on the radio, goes, "Ah, Faye, you gotta go and come get us. Go and help Jet. His leg's busted up." Like,
Oh, he says, "Hey Faye, you got to come and pick us up." And she's like, "I'm not going to be dealing with your messes anymore. I'm not helping out." And she's like, "Come on, like Jet's legs busted up real bad. We need to get out of here." And then it's like, "Oh, oh, okay."
or was that
Like that
before
sort of.
that?
I don't know. I
Was
think
that
she
not
does it
before the shoot
after.
up from Julia?
Was it after?
Yeah,
Because
I
she
think it
helped
was
them get
after.
away.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think so. I think it was that was the first thing, and then she gets out the ship because she's like, "No, I got a place. I got a place now that I can be," type thing.
Oh, okay.
Because Spike's,
Yeah,
very that. I mean, she's like, "Oh well, she's still got Jet's still got Ayn and Ed to look after him because she doesn't know
that's
that
right.
they
I
left."
forgot about that. She doesn't know that they've left.
Yeah,
Oh, shame.
yeah. Family's all breaking up. Um, and then I don't know. Vicious kills the council. I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is where he like escapes. He's going to be executed. That's I think what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they were like, "You're going to rot." Actually, no, we're going to kill you.
I think they
Uh,
make him rot for a few days first because he was chained in like a crucifix manner off a wall,
that's right. Yeah.
and then good
Yeah.
for
So
him.
he escapes.
Yeah, and then I think he kills Shin at some point, but maybe that's next episode.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so let's not say that. So they do the coup successfully, take over the syndicate.
Shin's totally fine
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah. Shin's not dead. Shin's fine.
Shin's,
Li,
Shin's
Li,
super fine.
Lin's dead, not Shin.
Lynn's dead. Shin's totally good.
Yep. Um, and then the Spikes start going after them. Was that next episode again?
So no, what happens is Faye contacts him to tell him about where Julia is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She's like, I saw Julia. She says go to this place. She said you'd know what it is. She said she'll be in the place. She said you'll know what it means. And he's like, I don't know what that means.
No.
in true Spike fashion of just being a total dickhead, he's like, I know what that means. No, that means nothing to me.
Nothing. And then he goes to the place.
Yeah, then he goes. Of course, Faye storms off at this point and is like, no, had it. It's like, yeah, of course you have. He can't, like, I don't, why can't, oh God, why can't he just say, oh yeah, okay, the place? He has to be like, nah, you're telling me a thing, and because you're telling me a thing, it's fucking wrong. Can't have you thinking that you've done a good thing, Faye. Just you calm down. He's like weirdly gaslighting her to keep her in her place. And I don't know how okay I am with that.
Yeah. Yeah,
He does it like quite a lot throughout the series.
he's just messing with her, man. It's just like a brother sister thing.
Yeah, I am gonna write it up to the sort of brother sister type thing, but you know, in any other relationship, we'd be like, that is really toxic and bad. you're you're creating a really bad atmosphere for that person by
Yeah.
never allowing them to be right or successful.
Yeah. Ah, terrible.
So he goes to the place, which is a graveyard.
Yeah, well that's what because it has a little flashback and that's what he was agreed to for her to meet him after the time he was going to leave.
Yeah, that's right.
And he said,
When he was gonna abandon it all.
yeah, and he asked Julia to come with him. So this is kind of like explains the whole fucking thing with Spike. Because you never really got to understand what happened. You thought maybe Julia died, but it turns out that it's actually he was going to leave the syndicate, and he wanted Julia to come with him. And then
Hmm.
Vicious found out, and Vicious went,
Yep.
"No, you're not. You're going to have to kill him." It's like, what? Why me? You going to kill him? No, you are, type thing. And so I think he
Yeah.
meets up, and then I think she sort of shoots Spike. Maybe I don't know if she did. You don't really see that scene.
No. The implication is that I think that they come to some sort of arrangement that they're both kind of going to disappear in different ways.
Possibly, yeah. It's never mentioned. Anyway, so and their arrangement was to meet up at this gravestone.
Yes. And then he's like, "Oh, Julia," and then she just fucking pulls a gun, and then the episode ends
Yeah,
right at that point.
is it in there? Okay.
Yeah, it ends literally in the grave. You're like, "Oh, all right." Uh,
Uh, oh,
weird ending, but sure,
it always ends with Spike getting held up gunpoint in these two parts.
that's true. If he's not being shot or killed in some way, yeah, it's
It's not
not
Spike.
really an episode.
That's not
No.
Spike.
So, how do you rate this episode?
Uh, uh, I don't know. It's certainly giving you closure to some things. I think, and it's kind of like showing that they're progressing away from each other now, in the sense,
Yeah,
and it certainly has a very somber feel to it, uh, in that sense, and it sounds maybe feels like it's going to be a proper conclusion to a story, but I don't know. I'm going to give it a 7.
yep, agreed. I think I'm more upset that I think they could have done more to make me feel more about Spike. I
More,
feel more about the I feel more for the other characters. Like Faye has now lost the only family she's ever really known,
yeah,
and Jet has gained a family that he thought he never wanted and realized he did, even though they annoyed the shit out of him.
that's
And
what family
Ein, who
does.
just kind of wanted to be accepted by a group, got a glimpse of all be incredibly brief family life because she found her dad and then was abandoned
Oh,
and kind
Ed.
of got taught this weird, yeah, like got taught this really weird lesson of like, well, um even the people who are your blood relatives will just leave whenever they want, so there's no point in hanging about anywhere. I feel like Ed gets dealt a really like a bad hand because for her it's like the wrong lessons are learned. There's a little bit of a positivity of like, going out and making your own decisions is totally cool,
Mm.
but there's a bit of sadness in there, I think, because it's like, well, you would have been perfectly happy with the rest of them.
Yeah,
Like you are this dysfunctional family unit, and that was kind of good for you, for them, like, and for Spike, it's Spike is a part of that, like because he does care about them and they care about him.
yeah, you
But
see
like I
that.
say, is that his arc is not it's not very arced. It's exceptionally linear. Is that I have a problem. I've had the same problem and continue to have that problem. I'm now going to find an answer to this problem.
Yeah, it's yeah. I suppose he has the lesser of the thing. He's just kind of like, yeah, I got issues. Yeah, yeah. Oh, look, I'm going to keep with these issues because I can't. I can. I failed to move by said issues.
And I think like I would be remiss to say like I think he's badly written. I don't think that's true. I think all the characters are well written in their own way. Like he is a very unique and interestingly written character. He's funny and morose and like oddly poignant at times. Like I really like. I think some of the conversations that he has with with Faye and Jet are really good. And there is a scene in the next episode, or the one we're about to talk about, that I think is probably like one of the best scenes in the entire show. Maybe since the first episode, which I think had like this fantastic final scene. When in the very first episode where the woman shoots the guy she's with,
Oh yeah,
knowing then that she's stopped the bad thing that was going to happen if he got away, but knowing that now she had no control of the ship and was going to get shot out the sky. There's like just this really sort of uh, uh, amazing scene. I think is really really well done. And there's other stuff in the show that I think is of a par, maybe not quite as good, but like definitely really solid in terms of its poignancy. And I feel like the in the last episode that there is a particular scene I think is just really great, like absolutely so full of character, like bursting with character, from the people involved in the scene as well. It's just really great, and I think it's and as to say, it is a really well written show. Like there's no doubt about that. I think
mhm,
it is just a shame that I find it more difficult to connect with one of the characters because I think they're cool and funny and really good, but at the same time they don't have the same depth emotionally, and they don't learn. I don't think as much as the other characters do. It feels a bit of a disparity.
well, I would argue that's kind of his depth in the character, in the sense, like, say,
And
it's all kind of like about they all have their separate depressional problems. Jets obviously feels betrayed, but isn't so emotionally in it. But Spike is essentially just locked himself away in a case and doesn't see a real way out and is still lost in the past. It's like they said for like the last couple of episodes where they talk about is it alright not seeing one sees the past and the other one sees the present because you got
That's
that
the
kind of
next episode. Is that the movie? No, that's this one. That's the new. That's a weird scene. That's well, sorry, that's not a weird scene. It's a weird comment because that is literally never brought up
it's brought up
until
once.
that moment.
It was
Is
brought
it?
up in the Jupiter one.
I don't remember that.
It's like Julia mentioned that. Oh yeah, one of your eyes is different color, and then what's his name? Ground as he puts him in the ship states, "Oh yeah, your eyes are different colors," and he goes and states that yeah, one looks at the past and one looks at the present, or maybe that was something Julia mentioned to him.
But at the same time, he never says that the reason that's the case is because one of them is fake.
Yeah, no, 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 never. They never really go into it, but yeah, it's
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into this before we get to that. So, this is Real Folk Blues Part 2, or Za Riaru Foku Barusa, I think is how that is. Koen.
Gwen.
Instead of the other one is Zenpen
Uh-huh.
was the first one, and this one is Koen. So I'm not sure what those are.
It's part one and part two.
Well, no, because one and two would be Ish and Ni. So
Yeah, but maybe not if it's part one and part two.
I don't know. Like Japanese is very literal because months are like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. So I can't imagine it would part one and part two would be any different. But
Or maybe not.
uh,
Who knows?
huh.
Well,
Uh, uh, Koen is Koen. Interestingly, Zenpen is part one apparently, but Koen is just Koen. I love it. I love
sure.
it. Sure. Okay.
Whatever.
So it picks up from the graveyard where we have Julia pointing a gun at Spike and the kind of memories of that sort of I was supposed to kill you because I was told to sort of thing. And instead, uh, they make a plan to try and escape. They
Yeah.
start talking about how to get out of this situation.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
and then
and I can't just go on.
they run away, and I think they get to they get to the shop. And what was her shop? The guy from
Oh, this is the syndicate boss's wife who now runs the shop.
yeah, or always did run a
Who's
shop.
unhappy? Yeah, and is very unhappy to see him, or
I,
was at the
yeah,
time.
you're meant to be dead.
Yeah, and so they find her, and she's been shot in the stomach or stabbed.
Yeah, they go to the shop to see him. I'm not sure they pick up stuff on the way, but they certainly go there, and she's certainly been injured because she's part of
Yeah,
the syndicate,
of course, that's right. Yeah,
or the Red Dragons side of things, and she's kind of happy about that. And then all shit kind of breaks loose in the shop, and they climb up to the first floor, and then jump through a window and run along the rooftop, which is, I
yeah,
believe, is
that's right.
something that is a flashback as well.
There's a because the thing is that what is it like? There's a bit where Spike realizes that someone's coming behind Julia, and shoots, like turns around to shoot. I think I can't remember if that sort of sparks a memory, and then as they continue to run across the roof, it turns out there was someone else, and they basically gun Julia down
Yeah,
as they're running across the rooftops.
Julia gets shot down, and then that's it of Julia. Julia is now no longer a thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a weird. There's a weird thing to this because he obviously does react to it,
Mhm.
but maybe not to the degree I thought he might.
Yeah.
It's like Julia. It's like, well, easy come, easy go.
Well, I don't know. Spike seems quite introverted. I don't know. And would that be the word? His feelings are always kind of like he's always kind of like placid in things and the way he expresses
Yeah,
himself.
yeah. I would
And
have just thought, if anything, that might have been the thing that sort of went, oh,
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And it does, to be clear, but I guess it's just that initial reaction is a little like, okay. It's like she didn't break her ankle. She's she's dead.
yeah. I mean, I think he is essentially broken inside in the fact that he that goes on a murderous rampage. Um, but his reaction to things have always been kind of like minimal. And I think that's kind of like
Yeah.
how his character is and his emotional states. It's
Yeah.
you thought you might have because this is also the thing that's been tying him down in the other emotional state. But
This
when his
she's it.
yeah
She's been kind of everything to this,
yeah, and then
and it
she
just
just
seems
kind
a
of
little bit muted.
I think he was a broken man a long time ago.
One thing I will say is these last two episodes feel quite rushed. Because I think there's like we were saying, is like, oh, then Shen comes along and fixes the situation for them, and then this happens, and then this happens. It just so happens that they're in the same place at the same time to give this information. It's like, I appreciate you're trying to fit this into two episodes, but this feels like the movie
Mm.
to me. It's like this is your movie, you know.
This should have been the movie, yeah.
Like they could have done the movie in a two-part episode.
Yeah, they could have done the movie in the sense that that was yeah, they could have done it in the sense that the movie was the last two episodes,
Yeah.
and then they did the finale in the movie, which would probably made a better movie.
To be fair though, like I know that the movie was done retroactively and they had already finished the series and it was sort of done to allow them to write another story involving the team. But these two episodes feel like they were really cut down.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, they certainly have. I mean, there's always it seems to get rushed to a point in this one. So those guys, Julia's dead. Spike's a little miffed, and rather than being fully on upset, he's like not bursting into
But
tears.
to your point though, like the reaction is the rest of this episode.
Yeah,
The reaction to that is still is burning like a slow burning fire, because he heads back to the Bebop,
hmm
um, to eat with Jet. That they have food together,
yeah.
um,
Oh,
which was kind of nice.
and then they quote. I think in the first episode, Jet quotes like a wee story and goes, "I hate that story."
Yes,
And then
yeah, that's right.
this time Spike quotes a story and goes, "I hate that story."
Yep,
It is
it's
kind of like the metaphor for both their lives at that point in time. The story was.
It's a nice interaction. Like, I think whatever the like, I don't like it's the he is sort of a fathering figure, but I don't think he's sort of the father. I think he's the older brother type thing. I know he's the father of the situation, but he and Spike are not father and son. They're sort of more brotherly in that way, I think.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. There's
I,
in this
he
one anyway.
fathers Faye constantly, but yeah, like there is a sort of a camaraderie I like in this, and like it's a nice scene.
Yeah,
But of course, uh, all good things can't last, and Spike decides that well, they all have to die. Uh,
yeah,
I'm gonna kill them all and make sure this is done now.
yeah. I think Jet tries to sees that in him and tries to talk him out, but
Yeah,
realizes it's a futile uh, argument to him. So I think that's basically Spike saying his goodbyes. Phase is still about on the ship as well, I think.
yeah. She's on the boat, but she's not with them at that point.
Yeah,
Um, and as Spike is sort of, I can't remember if she overhears or if he tells her at that point. But she gets really she meets him in the corridor in the hallway, and she's really angry with him that she's like, you are just throwing away your life. This is like you're going to die doing this, and you don't seem to care. And that like for the first time really bothers Faye.
yeah,
Like his lack of desire to keep living, like, or his just complete point blank refusal to feel like death is a problem. Um, and it's quite an emotional scene because she's genuinely upset, probably for the first time, I think, in the most upset
yeah.
she's ever been.
Yeah, because I think she before she kind of knew that Spike could probably handle himself in the situation that he goes for, but now knows that this is pretty much a suicide mission that he's going into, and knows that that's the end of the family type situation.
That and like before she was detached as well.
Yeah,
Like she maintained a distance and like tried not to care too much because she never got too involved. She was just there on the fringe, and then as we kind of see her start to evolve because she starts to remember what she starts to learn more about her past and understand, and she can break down the walls of that sort of insecurity and that the distancing and the desire to sort of keep everyone at arm's length, and like that family thing all of a sudden, despite being exactly what she wants, is exactly what she doesn't want in a weird way because it's kind of making her feel that way.
yeah,
um and this is the whole bit where he kind of like gets right in Faye's face and talks about his eyes. One looks into the future or the present, while one looks into the past. Um,
yeah,
and then just kind of it's like, well, gotta go. And she is. This is I think, like I was saying, the scene I think that just sets everything is this, where she, on seeing him, like just so blasé, to just is like, I'm gonna go now. Like there's no goodbye or anything like that. There's no nothing. Like weirdly, I feel like with Jet, there's like this unspoken part of it. Like he kind of knows deep down, like, I don't know that you're gonna come back from this,
yeah,
and knows Spike well enough to understand that there's no point in talking him out of it because he's not going to listen. Um, and for Faye, she just has this, like, she has her point blank refusal of, well, I'm not going to let you just kill yourself. So she just pulls her gun and kind of tells him to stop. And he doesn't even turn around as she continues to sort of fire shots warning shots. They're pretty close. Shots around him, um, without him flinching. He just doesn't move and doesn't engage with it, and you see her sort of getting sadder and sadder with every shot that he doesn't stop and every shot that he doesn't react. I think that's the best scene in the entire show,
Yeah, that's
hands down.
it's a certainly a poignant scene. Like it's also like I say this last episode, so it's showing bringing out the closure of the dynamics and showing that
Yeah,
it's slowly fading away. I mean, the one episode 24 essentially tried to give Faye and Ed an out from seeing all this happening, really, but they kept
yeah.
Faye in it because obviously she's a integral part of the family.
I think the other part of it is I feel like the final part of her growth is that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like the final sort of part of her arc is that kind of emotional breakdown of realizing it's like, she cares about people again for the first time that well, I say again, she doesn't really remember caring about people in the first place, other than, Haggis or whatever his name was, and then she got burned there. But
Nice.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is the she's realized that this relationship that she's been in this ship has been everything to her.
Yeah.
I think it's such an important scene. I think considering and like one thing I will say about both these episodes is the action sequences are top notch. Again, like they're really great quality. The shootouts are fantastic, and they're difficult to convey in audio, but like there are some really great. There's really good animation. There's really good and interesting choreography. It's fast paced. It's action packed. It's just good stuff. But this is I think this is the emotional peak of the show. Like the kind of 5 minutes of him having his last meal
Jet.
uh with Jet, and because I think maybe there's something in this that I'm missing. Is maybe the point of Spike is that he doesn't grow. Maybe the point is that he grew to a point and he's trying to finish his own arc.
And
Like
maybe.
he's just been stuck in that sort of final bit of like, I just need to end this. Whereas everyone else has kind of grown around him. And I think, like I say, that the important thing for Faye is because she does get that sort of send off, as you say in like episode 24. It's like, here's your ticket not to have to deal with any of this.
Yeah.
Um, but I really do think it was super important for her to come back and experience that.
Yeah. She's got to say her goodbyes to the team as well properly because she's kind
But
of
it's
left them
yeah,
in
yeah, but
24.
it's not even the fact that she came to say goodbye. It's the more the fact is like this is the pinnacle of your arc now. You're at the point where everything that has passed is now leading to this point of you are now a person who cares about other people. You are now a person who knows what you want from life, and that's other than to gamble and drink her life away, because that was short-term solutions to, like you say, some sort of depression or struggle that she was having with
Mm-hmm.
not being able to connect with people due to her memory loss and not wanting to get close to people. It's like, you're now out of that. You're so far out of it, and it is overwhelming to you.
Yeah. I think that's it. She's not ready to lose it all again, which is
No, and
what that
like I
last
think
part was
that's
about.
really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that is really I think that's actually, you said that really well. Is like that's exactly, yeah, she's not ready to experience a loss.
Yeah.
Um because she's never had to experience loss really, because she's remained distant. Like nothing ever really mattered that much.
Yeah,
To
keep your
just
distance. Then
yeah,
it's
and you know,
easier.
obviously she remembers the things that she's lost now, and I think that's what's starting to remind her of that, is that she's now allowing herself to become close to things that a loss is now devastating to her.
Yeah,
I think her and Jet, I think, have fantastic character arcs. Just I love the way those characters progress. They're just so well written in that way.
you mean?
And maybe I have made maybe not a mistake with Spike, but maybe there is more to the fact that he is less developed than the others. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's his development in the sense that he's like I say. I think they're all kind of some form of depression. Like people depressed will try and force everyone away from people just because it's easier than accepting stuff and then losing it. And that's kind of what Faye's kind of like showing here in this episode by screaming at Spike for leaving. Uh,
Yep.
and then there's people that regress to the point where they hide all their emotions so they can just be emotionally numb to everything in the world, looking for
Yeah.
it to end, which is what Spike is really. I'm not too sure about Jet, 'cause he isn't. He's left his life behind and done. Is went to bounty hunting because his love
He's
kind of like left him because he was too controlling, and then that hurt him.
yeah.
And then his partner betrayed him, but he didn't know that, and he's kind of just kind of bumbling through life, not really knowing what his main goal is. I think.
I feel like his realization is he's going to live his life for him for a little bit, because he's had all these hang-ups,
Hmm.
and uh it doesn't want to die. Like that is made clear several times. He's like, yeah, that's suicide, or that's a problem. We're never going to come back from that.
Yeah,
Uh, there's and to have that attitude clearly suggests, like, it's like, no, there's a reason you're saying these things, because otherwise it just wouldn't matter. And there's a little bit of like a little bit of like uh you know, I need to show that I can live the way I want to live without other people needing to be a part of that all the time, because I've found people who will just kind of allow me to do that. And I guess they did. Like they never changed anything for Jet.
no, except that.
Like they still let Jet be Jet.
Yeah, I mean maybe Jet was their anchor.
Oh, like
Uh,
100%.
yeah, maybe that's what Jet's whole thing was. Is like Jet was their anchor from being outrageously just harming themselves and stuff. Anyway, so
So
that's our thoughts on these characters right now.
yeah.
So let's let's progress the actual episode.
Spike Spike's going hunting.
Spike is
Uh
going hunting.
turns up to the syndicate skyscraper and just starts fucking wasting fools.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah, this is
runs up it.
yep. It's super cool. He does a
Yeah,
lot of the shooting. It's awesome. It's really good. As with the sort of the action sequence in the two-parter, it introduces, not the two-parter. Is it the two-parter? Uh,
I think. Are you talking about the first instance when he
yeah,
fights shit,
yeah.
Vicious?
Vincent Vicious. Sorry, it's
Yeah,
Ballad of Fallen Angels, episode 5. Yeah, like that. Is yeah, it's great.
yeah,
It's like it's that, but magnified with sort of the weight of all the stuff that's since happened. You know, like
yeah,
Vincent was obviously still a part of Vincent Vicious was obviously still part of a syndicate, but is now sort of gradually taking over slowly but surely, and is now sort of the figurehead.
Mhm.
And obviously, Spike has just lost Julia, which
Yep.
was his kind of reason to be for the longest time.
Yeah.
Um, so
So
yeah, there's this whole shootout is pretty cool. Um, he gets pretty badly injured though. He's like, I think he takes a few bullets.
it does take a few bullets. Again, always, and Vicious isn't even in the fight yet. He just keeps seeing Vicious in the far away. He's like, ha ha ha, and
Yeah,
then it's like,
he's just
nope.
Mr. Xing his shit up on the top floor of the building.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Shin comes in and helps him. So I'll take
He
out these
does.
fools. But
He tries.
I think he gets taken out at that point.
He does. Yeah. Like another sort of there's something in that, like, as he said before, is like you're always stuck in the middle of it, and here he is again, stuck in the middle of it, just like his brother, who also died in the middle of something that wasn't even his fight, really.
Mhm.
Um, it's that there's kind of a sadness to that. It's like a bit of an irony, both brothers dying in the sort of similar circumstances. Um, it's a bit of a shame because like I feel like his character could maybe have been more than it was. It's only in a couple of scenes, really.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's the same as Lynn. Lynn kind of
yeah,
like,
I feel like the thing with Lynn though, like, is that it was because it was from Vicious's perspective. He was a henchman of Vicious's. Whereas in this, the interaction has mostly been with
Spike.
Spike, and it's like
Yeah,
I just kind of felt like they could have done more, but it's not bad. It just it feels a shame to kill off that character, having not let them live more within the world from our, to us. So
yeah. I mean, Lucius did say to Lynn that he was looking at the things wrong. He shouldn't be doing things the way he is doing, but he still lived towards the syndicate.
yeah,
Um,
that's true.
philosophy. So and then
This is where we this is the sort of final showdown, as it were.
yeah,
We have Vicious with his standard samurai sword, Spike with his gun.
yep, fighting it off because how else will you fight a guy with a sword or a gun?
I can't like it's so Spike. There's a back and forth of the sword and the gun, and
Mhm.
it comes to the point where sort of both their weapons hit the deck or something like that.
Yeah, they both knock each other weapons out because I think the Spike gets stabbed in the shoulder,
Yes,
and he also shoots Vicious in the shoulder,
yes,
and they both drop the weapons at that point.
and they get kind of up close and personal,
Mhm.
and Spike's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna end this now," and sort of like flicks the gun back into his hand. And Vicious is also pretty quick off the mark and has the sword ready to swing.
Mhm.
It's a little bit like a sort of a little bit cowboyish again, where like the meet at high noon,
Yeah,
uh,
Dawn.
and it just happens that uh, Spike was quicker off the draw and gets a shot off to center mass.
Yeah, he finally puts down Vicious.
The
But
fight doesn't last particularly long, but I think the choreography of it within that time frame is pretty good. Like, it feels pretty energetic and impactful. So this is pretty good.
yeah, yeah, it certainly is. And then yeah, so Spikes starts walking out the building.
Yep. In quite a state.
Yeah, it's very much a fucked up state. In fact,
Yep.
so
He's
bad that he Like gets down to the bottom of the skyscraper or the big like main throne room area, and then just collapses.
Well, he points at them with his hand like a gun
Oh yeah,
and says, "Bang," and then just falls.
yeah.
And that's the end of the show.
That's it. Yeah.
So he's dead.
He's certainly unconscious. I mean,
I
it is poignant. It is should be dead. It is pretty much summed up that he's
It's the
dead,
end.
and it's the
Yeah,
end.
it's the end of it, right? Like, is it feels. I do like that. I didn't like that they killed him because I thought it was a shame that after all that's how it ended. But at the same time, that's not because I don't think that's the right way to do it, just because I think it's a shame to lose a
Mhm.
character like that in that way. But it's so interesting to think about the idea that the show opens with him to a degree, and the journey is literally the string of episodes.
Mhm.
It's not, like it's not like in other shows where we get a bit of aftermath and we get to find out, what other people went to do, and there's no after.
Yeah.
It's literally like the first breath of it for us, and then his last breath is like, and that's it.
Hmm. Yeah.
I like that. Like, I like that when it's like, and now we're gonna show credits, because it's like him being alive was this show. Like,
Hmm.
you cannot have this show if he's dead. That is how this is. Like, this show to a weird degree is like his consciousness.
Yeah. It was him having his one last bit of fun before the inevitable.
It's just like, I think the skyscraper scene's really good. Like, and I think the fight with Vicious is also really good. Um, I was like I say, I don't think it's not a bad way for it to end, because I think that makes perfect sense, and like it plays it out really well. I just think it is a shame to lose a character like that.
Yeah. I mean, certainly you could argue that he's still alive because all you saw him is just fall down uh,
Totally.
on. I mean, because like he's done that a few times in the show already.
He has. I feel like I don't know, like
It would.
I'm not even sure what the significance of him saying bang was.
Oh, he
Like,
did that. Did he not do that like in the first episode? Sure, he goes. Does that
but it's
to? I
it's
think
it's
we.
to his character.
Yeah, he has done that single before.
But it's to his character. It plays to the way his character is,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean,
Like, it is that sort of playful cheekiness that we have come to know Spike for throughout this entire series. Um, but I do think it's interesting that, like, the thing that says to me he's dead is the fact they stop immediately after that scene.
oh yeah, yeah, he totally is.
Because
And
you could argue he is alive, but I feel like that's the intention of this entirely. Is that it's like, now that he's dead, there is nothing left to show you.
yeah, everything's been ended. He
Yeah,
said,
like, even if it hadn't been, I think that's the thing. It's just
yeah,
like, he's done now, so we're done here.
yeah, yeah. He's totally is dead. And they could potentially have made a second season of it, but wouldn't. That would just be a subpart and wrong morally. I
I
feel.
I I am, in a way, saddened that there won't be any more,
Mm,
because I do feel like this show had something.
mhm.
Like there is a reason this is a revered show. There's a reason people use this as like they hold this up. There's a band called See You Space Cowboy. The iconography is everywhere. It is synonymous with anime fan. There's a reason everyone was so fucking pissed off at the Netflix show. There's a reason there was a Netflix show. Like,
Mhm.
it just to me, it it is one of those difficult things to accept as a person who likes what they're watching, that this is done now. There will never be any more of it. We're not like going the Harry Potter route or anything like that, where it's like, oh, we'll just do some prequels and then, maybe do this so we can continue to talk about these characters or this world. It's like, no, no. We told the story we came to tell, and the story's done.
Yep.
I'm sorry that you're upset by that, but that is
Well,
what it is.
not
And
not
like,
sorry,
I think,
because that's the whole point of the
yeah,
last episode. The last two
I,
episodes are
you're
basically
totally
a
right.
swan song to it. It's
And I
like,
think anime does this better than most things, I think. Like, because there's a lot of like, and I suppose that is the interesting thing is that when I watch a movie or I watch two movies or I watch a series of movies, like often I would be really excited to see more of it. But more often than not, I end up getting that anyway.
yeah,
But even that's maybe like what, three movies is at most 6 hours, right? Give or take.
something like that. Yeah,
But
about 2 hours average.
this this show is 26 episodes at 20 minutes each.
Yeah,
It's like we're talking about into about 8 or 9 hours, and then you get the movie on top of that.
yeah,
So I've spent a significant amount of time with these characters, and with TV shows you spend so much time with them that inevitably they do continue and continue and continue in perpetuity, and in a lot of instances way longer than they should do.
yeah, yeah.
um,
Find that things are just, oh, that was successful. We'll just keep making that to then.
but I feel like that's where anime in a lot of examples has done really well. Like, I know that there are a lot of reimaginings and things like that, and more often that, like, I don't
Mhm.
know exactly what the circumstances of Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood are. Like, I'm not entirely sure what the difference is there.
Not much.
Well, but there's
But
like Helsing and Ultimate Helsing, and the rationale for that was is they started writing and putting together the anime before the manga was finished.
maybe that's the same with Full Alchemist. It
It could
certainly
well be.
it did it changed the way how things ended. That's for sure. But it kept the core story arcs
Yeah,
to a degree.
but there's like Gurren Lagann or um or Lane or Haruhi. Like, those have like, granted, Haruhi does outlive its welcome a little bit at a certain point, but it pulls it back.
In the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and by the time they do that movie is absolutely transformative to the experience of that entire thing.
Hmm.
It is so important that if people watch that show, that they watch that movie. Like, it's critical. Like,
Yeah.
it, like my experience of that show was pretty good, and I enjoyed that.
Mhm.
And then having watched the movie, it completely reworked my entire thoughts on everything.
Yeah. Um
And but it's stuff like that it's done with purpose, it's done with intent, and it's done to because there's room to talk about it.
yeah.
And with Cowboy Bebop, they did exactly that. It's like, this is the room and space we have to talk about this, and we're going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's still the same for modern anime. I mean, I know you have animes long running, such as Naruto. It just continues and
Yeah,
continues and continues, and then obviously
I
One
struggle with
Piece,
those, if I'm honest. Yeah, One Piece, Naruto, or Boruto, or whoever it is now.
Bleach.
um Bleach, like, those
Bleach
are the
is
ones I
finished
struggle
though.
with the most,
Yeah,
because they just kept going and going and going and going and going, and people are like, oh, well, this bit's not really that entertaining, and this bit's not, yeah, I don't really like that bit. And you're like, well, why watch it? Why is it here? And like, granted, I will like even to one of my favorite shows, Dragon Ball Z. There's a load of shit in that
Yeah,
that
it's
is just awful,
yeah,
awful.
and they're still going with Dragon Ball. Keep coming back to it, and
They do. It
you
does get
know,
better though, because GT was trash, and Super's been pretty good.
Super's kind of back to the Z kind of
Z,
style,
yeah.
which is a bit worrying. But I think GT didn't really have. I don't think they had like the creator on board with GT. They were just making it up. I
Oh,
think,
really?
yeah, I don't think he had
Man.
like full directional, or he had maybe full directional. I'm sure there's something about GT and an original creator says, "Oh yeah, you can use my energies," type thing, and work on it there. Um,
Akira Toriyama, I do love their artwork.
yeah,
So
because he went and did like Blue Dragon and stuff, didn't he?
he did with Mistwalker
Yeah,
for the Xbox.
and is he working with Dragon Age? Is it Dragon Age? Not
Dragon
Dragon
Quest.
Age. Dragon
He,
Quest.
he does a lot of the work. He does the character stuff for Dragon Quest as well, I think. So.
Because certainly it's within his kind of anime character style.
Oh,
It's-
it's super his wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Um, I think the thing that what I will say about Dragon Ball Z is though is I genuinely do believe they fixed that with Kai. They made Dragon Ball Z the series that it should have been with those edits.
yeah. I mean, that's. I don't know. I don't know if it's because they're shooting Jump mangas, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that pushes it to be tiresome because they keep wanting stuff to put into their book.
Well, it's the filler territory, right? Where
Yeah,
that's the reason that anime ends up with filler, to my knowledge, is mostly because it's like, well, we've cut we're where the manga is,
yeah,
and we don't know what to do, so we're gonna do this until we can get to the next arc.
yeah.
Um,
I
and
think
that's to their credit with Helsing, which did not follow the manga. Um, still pretty fucking good. Like I thought they did a good job. Ultimate Hellsing is better, but the
yeah.
original is still great.
I'm not sure how many animes still does the filler thing. I think they've finally got rid of it. So, it's example, Attack on Titans could have filler, but they don't.
I watched 2 episodes of Attack on Titan,
Mhm.
and I liked it. I did not like looking at it.
Did not like looking at it.
It I struggled with it because of the motion of the animation, and I don't know why, because I'm usually not fussed at that sort of stuff. I'll usually just do whatever.
Uh,
And I ended up reading it instead, which is weird. Because I was like, I loved the idea of the story, so I was like, I want more of this, and ended up reading a bunch of the books. So,
that's fair.
another series while we're on it that
Mm.
has a great arc, a perfect. Here are the episodes, and this is how it is Death Note.
Death Note. Yeah, that has an arc. I didn't really like
It's
it.
great. Oh, seriously?
Nah, man, that's it's not
Oh,
really my thing. It's like, oh, I could
we
write.
have to do Death Note
No, rather not.
so I can talk to you about how amazing it is.
Yes, I noticed. Well, you know what? I get to work school days, so maybe.
Oh yes, that is a point. Well, so here's to follow up on a point I think I made previously. I think Cowboy Bebop, the episodes,
Mhm,
rating them individually for me, I love the show. Like I think
mhm.
it is beautifully animated. The characters are wonderfully written and interesting. The stories, more often than not, are gripping and fun. Like it is a really difficult thing to balance comedy and gravity and levity all in a show, and I think they straddled that line really really well.
They did it pretty good. So, talking about rating,
Oh shit!
we haven't rated the
Great
last
last
episode.
episode. What have you got?
Oh my god. I think it's very well done for the last episode. It's very poignant. It makes itself clear that it will be the last episode. It has the action. It has like the sorrow goodbye actions. I'm going to give it. I'm going to go a 9. I think I liked it. It certainly hits home in saying it's the
Yeah.
last thing. Can't even remember what it says at the end. Actually, what was it? It has something.
Actually, that's a really good point. I think it says you'll carry the weight.
You'll carry the weight.
Is what it says. Um,
Is it?
I want to say you're going to carry that weight. Is the phrase. Um, I was going to give this last episode a 6.
Yeah.
I was.
Oh, changing your mind now because
Um,
I gave it a 9.
I well, no, I think talking it over and like in particular, like I say, that scene with Faye and Spike, I think is just such a fantastic scene. And I think if I was to give the episode a 6, I'd be quite remiss. So I think I'll match the previous and say a 7. I think generally I like that it wraps up and everything, but at the same time, it's a little anticlimactic. I feel like they could have started ending it a bit further back to allow this a bit more room to breathe. But yeah, I think so. I suppose a couple of things that you're going to carry that weight. What's your take on that?
Uh, I suppose it's talking about the weighted heart of Spike leaving, or he's just full of lead and he's got to carry that weight.
Yeah, you're so fucking heavy now.
Yeah, man, he's got like extra 2 kilos on him with all the lead in him. It's I suppose it's just kind of in the sense of I don't know, it's emotional weight, I suppose.
See, I saw it as sort of a cautionary thing, because a lot of the show is about decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt that that was the message. It's, you'll carry the weight of your decisions. Like
Yeah,
every decision you make, you'll carry that weight. And I think we've seen all the characters make various decisions throughout the entire show.
yeah,
And I think that's that's what I took from it anyway. That might be way off base, but that's sort of what I felt like. Um, I think that yeah, the individual episodes I think are great. As a series, do I think it's a great series? I think the episodes in it are good. I don't know that as a series it is great for me.
no,
I also, to be clear, it is not bad and it's not just good. It is very good. I just don't think that the individual episodes themselves. That I think what was I said the last time is like the sum of the parts are more than the whole in this example. Normally, things are greater than the sum of their parts, but I just feel like the the macro, or the sort of the meta of everything of this series is just not quite as good as when you get into it. Um, what would you say is your favorite episode?
Favorite episode? Well, my favorite episode would certainly be, I think, Andy,
Cowboy Funk.
Cowboy Funk, just because it was good fun. It's just
Ha-
literally out of,
hands down the best episode.
yeah, it's just, it was kind of like just nothing else that they'd done. It was right,
Yep.
essentially good fun, stupid, and zany. It wasn't, it got away from a lot of the seriousness.
And it let the characters be fun. It
Yeah,
let the characters have a little fun with their. It let them play into their stereotypes, and it allowed us to see sort of Spike's insecurities that we hadn't really seen before, which was kind of fun. And I think it's it is absolutely my favorite. Um, and I often watch anime, and I say I grade anime and television differently.
yeah,
It's like, oh well, that was good for anime. I
yeah.
enjoyed that. Um, and it's not because I think one is better than the other. It's just that in my mind I have this separation. But I think for this episode for Cowboy Funk, I would go on record to say is like it's not just my favorite episode of anime or one of my favorite episodes of anime. It might be one of my favorite episodes of video. Like it's just so good.
It's a good episode. It's certainly a good episode for Cowboy Bebop. Not sure it's done in a good way. It's it's there. I don't know if I put it up there in video top tens or anything like that. I can't think what.
If I was to sort of put together like episodes of television,
Mhm.
it would definitely be up there for me. Like it's just exceptionally clever. Like
Mhm.
the whole Teddy Bomber being ignored thing is absolutely hilarious. It
Uh-huh.
shouldn't be. They're ignoring a terrorist,
Mhm.
and not just ignoring him. In some cases, berating him because he's talking over their argument that is not about the fact that he's blowing shit up.
Yeah, and also he berating them because they're ignoring him. Well, I
Yeah,
never.
it's
How
it's just
dare
so
they?
good.
And then he
It's so good.
goes out and calls them out both because he's pissed off that he's being ignored.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's such a great episode. And it was such a joy to talk about.
Hmm.
Um, I can't believe it's finally here. We've finally done it. Um,
Well, finish
we've
Cowboy
been
Bebop.
yeah, we've been talking about this for quite some time.
Well, yeah, it
Uh,
was
since
14
October
episodes.
last year.
14
Yeah.
episodes.
Will it be 14? Is it only 14? Yeah, holy shit, 14
Well,
episodes.
yeah,
Wow.
it's you just divide 26 by 2 plus the movie.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. 14 episodes,
I
damn.
can do maths.
You can math.
I can
Um
math, not meth, math.
don't do math. Um
Don't do math.
math not even once. Um like I know this is like obviously we're gonna take a week and do a palate cleanser. I think we're gonna do
Your name?
your name. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna do your name, and then we're gonna come back from your name with a shorter series this time. We're gonna do School Days, which you mentioned earlier,
yeah. Cool days.
which is quite exciting. You've told me I may have a falling out with you because you've asked me to watch it, so that should be interesting.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Um,
Pretty sure it's
but
only
yeah, this
12 things.
12 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this has been a I've really enjoyed talking about Cowboy Bebop. Um, and I think weirdly every time we go in to talk about the last episode or something, I think I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
and then I fucking talk for ages.
You got lots to say, man.
And I don't like, but none of this is like pre-planned. I just sort of vamp weirdly at the end of it. Like all of a sudden, when faced with the inevitable end of a thing I've enjoyed watching, uh, all of a sudden my thoughts on it solidify to a degree, and I start throwing out things like the end of Serial Experiment Lane. It's like, maybe it's this. Oh God, what if it's this? And then you're like, but have you thought about this? It's like, oh my God, no, I haven't thought about that. But what if that's true? Then what happens to this? And it just becomes, oh God, this becomes horrifying. In
Yeah.
fact, yeah, our last episode of Lane was nearly 2 hours long. So,
Oh.
in
Well,
fact, we are nearly at 2 hours on this.
yeah. We're near there. Um. So yeah, the next episodes we're doing is your name, the the movie thing.
Yep.
It's also be aired pretty much near Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I think we'll put that episode live on the 13th, so the night before,
Yeah, I think that should go there because
which is also for you Super Bowl fans, the night of the Super Bowl. So,
oh wow, that's great timing for a Super Bowl night of Valentine's
sure
Day
is.
because that's what every couple wants is a hungover man
Of course.
the next day.
Yep. I do not have enough days to take off work to stay up and watch it this year, so
Oh what? I got no
yeah.
money. No, I'm not doing that. I got things to do. So yeah, so the 30th could be 23, 24.
Well, you'll have listened to that.
No, 20. Yeah, and then oh
This you're
yeah,
speaking about the past.
we're thinking would pass, and then the 6 would be this when we air this one.
Yeah. This one that yeah, you're listening to this because it's now the 6th or beyond.
Yeah, it's now the 6th. We didn't record this really before then. Um, and you should also know that there'll be a new season up on our YouTube channel
Oh yeah.
of
This Sunday.
this Sunday.
Or
No, the
this
30th.
Sunday.
30th, past
And
Sunday.
what episodes will that be?
That's Melancholy Hurry Suzumiya, season 1.
This season 1? Sweet.
Yep,
That'll be awesome. Um this seems like a good place to sort of do our wrap up then.
that seems very
Um
good.
well, thank you for listening to Who's That Anime. We are, as you know, an anime podcast, the best kind of anime podcast, where we sometimes talk about anime. You can
Hey, well,
find us at anchor.fm/ Who's That Anime. And we can be found where all good podcasts can be found: Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast, Overcast, and Spotify, and anywhere an RSS feed will work.
mhm.
We don't make any money from this show, so no adverts, no anything, no Patreons, no nothing like that. Not precluding the future of that, might I add. But right now, if you are really enjoying what we do, a great way to be a part of that is to tell other people that you like this show and maybe get them to listen. If you want to write us a review, 5-star reviews are always welcome. However, if you do want to write a review with lower star rating, that's absolutely welcome too. Constructive feedback would be lovely, though. I would like to point out, Colin, that we do have 2 reviews,
2 reviews.
2 whole reviews. Um, and this is not going to be a regular segment. That should tell you the volume that these reviews are coming in at. But we do have 2 whole reviews, and I will make an initial apology to Sokar4, who has left us a lovely 5-star review on September 4th last year that I have just found. And
That's why
quoted
they're
as
not
saying,
regular.
"Yeah, that's the sad part. The best anime podcast. I feel like we've earned that title at this point. So
Oh, this is why that's how you managed to use that.
Oh yeah. That's now basically the back of the box quote for this show. The
Th-
best anime podcast.
Thanks, Sokar 4.
Yep. Thank you for that. And we have a newer review from this year, from a few days ago, from Propagander, which is a pretty good username, that reads, Two adult Scottish men discussing anime. What more could you ask for in life? Well, yeah, you could probably try for more, but while you're working towards bettering yourself, you should listen to Who's That Anime. It's fun and funny. I look forward to every episode. That's very kind,
That's the
and
best review.
definitely pointing that out before the show started put a bit of pep in my step. So thank you so kindly for the review. I hope you enjoy this episode when you get to hear it.
Mhm.
So moving on
Oh,
from our reviews, we move on to go on,
do you
go
want
on.
to state that when you say propaganda, it sounds like it's
Gander.
it sounds like propaganda, as in like
Yeah,
the
it's
thing, but it's actually gander, which is like having a good look at something. So it's like proper looking at stuff.
oh, I thought it was like a real goose.
Real case. Yeah.
I suppose there's many interpretations.
I mean
Uh,
that's that's it. That's why it's a good handle on
yeah,
the podcast, propaganda. 'Cause
yeah. Thank you again for your review.
yeah.
As you've already mentioned, Colin, we do have uh, the YouTube channel,
Mhm.
and there will be a new series up, which is season 1 of Haruhi Suzumiya. That'll be live on Sunday. It'll already be live by the time you're listening to this.
Yep. Sunday the 30th.
Um, yep. And we also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/ Who's That Anime. And going to there will allow you to find out when new episodes are live or join us in just anime memes, as we so often put forward.
Mhm.
Colin also likes to play video games sometimes at
Mhm.
twitch.tv/couchfuel.
Um,
Right now, you are in the middle of a move, and that is not a thing that's happening right now. However,
it's,
there is an archive of all of the games and things you've played at youtube.com if you search for the channel Couchfuel.
yep. I'd like to find out that I haven't streamed anything since October when we started Cowboy
Yep,
Bebop. This has taken over my
yep,
life.
yep. Hopefully, the next one will allow some extra time.
Yeah, maybe.
And similarly, uh, I sometimes like to stream things on twitch.tv/Hail Payman. I haven't streamed anything for a while either, but there is an archive of what I do like to stream on my YouTube channel, which if you go to youtube.com and look for Hail Payman, you will find. And here we are, Colin.
Yeah. It's the end of another episode. The last episode of Cowboy Bebop. That's us. We're finished with speaking about it. So I do have one question before we leave and end this before we make it 2 hours long.
Okay.
Are you now intrigued to watch the Netflix live action show?
Yeah, I am actually, and I will do that, and I will report back on my thoughts.
My
Um,
findings.
to be fair, I watched the trailers for that and thought they had done a relatively good job of making it at least have the same feel of the anime. I
Hmm.
think the problem with that is that they've leaned into that as a thing rather than leaning into just mirroring some of the characters and things like that. Uh,
I think you'll be surprised. It certainly doesn't follow the same path as the anime did. It might answer some of your complaints with
hmm,
the arc not going anywhere.
yeah, maybe. I think I hear a lot of mixed things. I hear some people saying they've really enjoyed it and they think the casting is really good, and I've heard people saying the complete opposite, that they just didn't like it and they felt that the casting was just wrong. Um, I'm going into it with an open mind. I think
That's the
I think it looks okay.
best way to do it, man. I enjoyed it. I just didn't think it pulled off the anime, which it
That's okay.
wasn't actually trying to do.
Well, I suppose that, like I say, that's maybe the problem is that I think they made a bit of an attempt, and that didn't really pay off as well throughout the whole show, but did better in smaller clips.
I think, yeah, I think it essentially was meant to have the aesthetics of the anime,
Yep.
essentially, but not be its own thing while telling the story.
Yeah,
And
I feel like they probably would have benefited from just doing more of their own thing.
yeah,
Um,
I watched the first few episodes and was like, no, this is not how it goes into anime. What's this all about? What's this underlying art with wishes and stuff like that? What? And then
ooh,
we moved on and went, oh right, it's the whole thing of the that. But anyway, with that comment,
we did it.
and we did it. This has been Who's That Anime. You have your lovely host Steve and Colin, who might be lovely. I don't know.
You are.
Hey, leave a 5-star review.
Yeah, just because of that.
Yeah, just because of that. Anyway, that's us signing off. Space Cowboys. Till next time. Ciao.
You space cowboy.